FM KOFA Yuma. Listen at your convenience online at kofaborderradio.org and with the KOFA app. Stay tuned for What's Up Yuma with Johnny Porter. It's 10 o'clock.
Where else on the radio would you hear the set that just played? For the most part, the music you hear on Border Radio is pretty hard to find on commercial radio stations. You'll hear this music only on a public radio station like Border Radio, where you, our listener, truly appreciates it and owns it. Visit borderradioaz.org to donate today.
What's up, Yuma? I'm Johnny Porter.
And I'm Victor Calderon.
On today's program, we will be joined first by Chef Lucy from Top Meals. We're going to be discussing meal prep, healthy eating, entrepreneurship, macros, whatever those are, and homemade cooking, and helping people that are busy enjoy nutritious meals without sacrificing that flavor. After that, it's on to Moses Femino, a reporter at KYMA. They do the weekend weather and sports anchor, and they're going to be sharing their journey from Massachusetts, from there to Washington, now in Yuma, and we're going to be talking about his dream of becoming a sports broadcaster. Maybe he can broadcast some sports here at AWC. We'll find out. So stay with us for What's Up Yuma Radio, beginning right now on KOFA 94.7 FM.
And streaming online at borderradioaz.org and on the KOFA app. You can also view our show on the Border Radio Facebook page and the KAWC YouTube page. And don't forget, you can reach out to us by email at whatsupyumaradio@gmail.com.
What's Up Yuma is sponsored by Citrine Law, LLC, a Yuma law firm practicing criminal defense, DUI defense, and personal injury law. Information is at citrinelaw.com.
Chili from Philly. Nick Papa Giorgio from Yuma.
Johnny Show! What's up, Yuma? What's up, Yuma? Welcome back to another episode of What's Up Yuma Radio. I'm Johnny Porter.
And I'm Victor Calderon. And Johnny, there will be no sweep in the NBA Finals.
No, thank God. I didn't want to sweep. Did you want to sweep?
No, I didn't think it was going to happen. It's rare. The only other one I can think of in like not recent memory, but was like in the 90s when Houston swept the Orlando Magic when they had Shaquille O'Neal and Penny Hardaway.
Yeah, that was
back in that would have been 30 years ago now.
Was Elijah on the team back then?
Yeah, and Kenny Smith.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I want good games, right? I wanted to stretch out, and some people are complaining that the refs are trying to stretch it out for the NBA because of the foul disparity. But
that's probably what it was. And New York was ready. New York showed up, right? All the celebrities and all the fans who could afford $10,000 tickets showed up, and the regular people were outside. But I think it was a good game. And the Knicks are still up 2-1. I'm still saying Knicks in 6.
You know what? I want to see a miracle. I want a miracle this time because no team has ever come back from that deficit to win. Yeah, from 0-2. It's never happened in the finals. But
so San Antonio would have to win 4 out of 5 games.
Yeah, like who knows? Let's see a Christmas miracle. I don't know. I just want to see something exciting, and I think San Antonio could do it. They kind of proved that they came into Madison Square Garden and went over there and showed them like, hey, we don't care if this is your home turf. We don't care who's watching, and they played to win. But anyway.
Yeah, and so the road team has won every game so far in the finals, which that also I don't think that happens too often.
No.
At least through the first 3 games, right?
Yeah. So, but yeah, you texted me. I missed the third quarter. You're like, it's a good game, and I looked and I was like, wow, it's 91-92, and I went home and finished the fourth.
But it was a little bit like WWE, right? Because some of the fouls on Jalen Brunson, they were like pushing him down and they weren't calling it. So
that was all over Twitter, right? They kept showing that video of Wemby like just kind of throwing him down, and Brunson is just like he's cool, calm, collected. He didn't get crazy because in basketball it's always like the second guy. It's the guy that reacts that usually gets the tech because the refs missed the first one, unless they go back and look. But he was cool, calm, and he just got up But yeah, that definitely was a foul.
Yeah.
But who do we got today, Victor?
We have Chef Lucy Sedano with Top Meals. Thank you for being here this morning.
Thank you for opening the space and, giving us the opportunity to talk a little bit about our business and who is behind Top Meals.
Yeah. Can you get a little closer to the mic or bring it closer to you?
Okay.
There you go. All right. Cool. That works. I'm deaf, Lucy, so you got to help me. Before we get into all that cool business stuff, and before I try this protein bar that you gave me here, we like to know who is behind the madness in the chef cooking all the goodies up. Where are you from originally, Lucy?
Well, I'm originally from San Luis, just across the border. I studied there like for probably, half of my life in there until I went to high school in there. And then when I was 18, I decided to come over the U.S. and start from the bottom here at AWC.
Really?
With my ESL classes.
Okay.
And
cool. You're one of the
struggling.
success stories of coming into I love that. We have a lot of students on that come on and talk about that. That have come over from Mexico and taken part in there, like not knowing any English, but just having an idea of what they want to do in life, the success that they want, and then they'll sit in this class knowing nothing and just like, okay, I'm going to make it happen. You were one of those.
I was one of those, just guessing what they were saying and just struggling to get to my English 100 and take my regular classes.
All right.
Yeah.
So what was it like growing up in San Luis?
Well, it was fun, definitely.
It was fun. Did you play like
a lot of freedom, a lot of opportunities to, like be free, like do whatever you like, and now looking back, I think like it was just things that nowadays I used for me to push myself and do better, and then a lot of the kids that they're around, they also they're always a little overwhelmed that they don't know what to do, and everything is hard when they have everything right now. They have the education, they have no language barriers, so which is very important. And then in there, I think they just have it all. It's just we need to remind them,
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned the freedom. I love Mexico, and I love going there. I am dead serious about this. I say that is the land of the free. They're more free over there. I feel more like, you know what I mean? I just feel it when I cross the border. It's like, oh, yeah, playing in the canals over there and having a good time. I know it's dangerous. Don't recommend it, but, definitely free. But so were you always into cooking? Like when you were younger, did you do that back in St. Louis?
Yeah, I think since I was little, probably like 5 or 6 years, I used to be with my grandma all the time, and she used to cook everything, like.
What would Nana make?
Oh my God! Like
you're smiling right now.
Oh yeah.
Like tortillas, or what are we talking
tortillas?
about?
No, just a reminding. My Nana Maria always making a thing that is called colache. And I always put it on my recipes.
Collage. Okay, hold on real quick before you go any further. Victor, do you know what this is?
I do not. No.
Oh, okay, cool. All right. I just wanted to, I check with Victor from time to time. But okay, go ahead. What is collage?
This is like calabacitas, like zucchini, like the Mexican zucchini, the gray zucchini, and roasted corn, and then a little bit of onions and garlic.
I'm going to have to eat this bar right now because you're making me real hungry.
And queso fresco. That's what it was. It's like a collage, like a mixture of everything.
Gotcha. Okay.
And it was just, I don't know. It was not, maybe the mixture of it doesn't sound that much like for something to be craving, but it was just the time and the emotion and, the cooking and spending the time together and looking at her, like carefully mixing, the food. It was just, something that I will always, remember about my Nana.
Yeah, so then would she do it every day? Was she the type to kind of cook every day or no?
Yeah, she used to cook every day, and I was there, and like different, food and stuff like that. That's what I remember all the time, and that's what I put on my menus all the time, and people liked it. But more than anything is, like I said, it's not the mixture of it. It's just, the passion that we put into the cooking. And I think that I can transmit that emotion when we're cooking, and that's all about,
Yeah, absolutely. And so now you're watching as a young girl. Did you ever ask, like, can you teach me a recipe? Was that part of it? Or no, it was. No. And did she have recipes, or did she kind of cook from her heart? From
the heart. Like no recipes. Not even, I never saw my Nana like writing anything down. It was just whatever we had in the fridge and like kind of creating something from, even the leftovers or what was in season. you know. And then now with the meal prep, I feel like a lot of relation into that because I learned that like whatever we have in the fridge makes something good, you know. Like try to create a plate, and sometimes we even think that we don't have anything to cook, and everything is there, and then when you put it together, it's just magic.
Oh yeah, that magic. And so when you're younger, you said she didn't write anything down. You're kind of just watching, and you're like, okay, I kind of see it. Now, did you try yourself when you were younger as well?
Yeah.
Okay, how'd that go?
Well, I mean, always she will give us, you know, like the spoon and everything, and like kind of like you're cleaning today, you're bringing this and that. It's just one little thing. It was just for us to create, like even me and my cousins and stuff like that. We always remember her because of the cooking. So in some way or another, we help out, and at the same time, we were learning.
So you were part of the kitchen staff.
I am part of the kitchen staff. Yeah,
You're part of this kitchen staff. Like, okay, this is your role, and maybe your brothers, sisters, whoever's there, they take on a different role, but you're over there, you're helping Nana.
Yeah, and then that's one of my rules of the kitchen. If you know how to keep the kitchen clean and organized and everything, then you go to the next level, and then you get, you know, a knife and cutting board, and you start prepping. So if you don't know, like, you know, the organization skills first, it's kind of hard for you to cook. It's just, you know, something that I always have in mind. Like if even I hire a new person, I always see like the way they, you know, move themselves in the kitchen, like how they clean up after themselves, how they organize, they read a recipe, and how they put everything together. It means a lot when you're cooking and showing your skills.
Yeah. So then you're 18. You decide to come to the United States after high school. Did you come here with the dream of becoming a famous chef that you are?
Not at all.
Okay.
I just, you know, like I always said, I don't know what I wanted to do, but I always wanted to be the best. And I don't know if I'm the best, but I'm the best for me, you know?
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I think, like, this is the best I can do.
And your confidence, I appreciate it. I love getting around you because it's like I get a charge out of it. Like, let's go, let's take over the world, Lucy. We're gonna make this happen.
And I remember like 10 years ago, like probably more than that. Like when I first met you, it was the same. I was like, "Come on, Johnny, you can do it."
Yeah, and then I could also attest that your kitchen was very clean and organized. Definitely. So you're telling the truth. So okay, so when you're here, you said 18. You just come to take classes. What was it that, any idea? Because you said you wanted to be the best, but you had to have some direction of what you wanted to do.
Well, back then I was into business administration and MEX.
Okay.
And then I came to the U.S. You know, the first goal it was learning the language. And then after that, of course, I started cooking in restaurants, starting from the bottom, prepping and stuff like that. Yeah,
so back to Nana's kitchen. So you take your role wherever you get placed, you're doing that. What was the first place in Yuma that you started to like cook for or even prep cook for?
Oof. That was a restaurant called Copper Miners.
Copper Miners?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I started prepping over there, and I remember I was like 18, 19 years old.
Was that owned by the Greek?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
And, oh, man, that was old-fashioned cooks, and the servers, they were mean to me.
Oh, they were mean.
They were really mean. Like, hey, you know what? The young girl, the pretty one in the back, she doesn't know how to do anything, like everything against, this person. No? Like, try to, all old school, restaurants is like, they have to give you a hard time.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if you don't, pass that test, you not belong to the kitchen.
It's like hazing.
Yeah, it's like hazing or initiation. You get jumped into the gang that way.
Yeah.
You got to deal with the heat. You're in the kitchen.
Yeah.
You got to put up with the heat, right?
Literally.
So you're doing that.
Me and servers back there, I was like, oh my God. And I still get in touch with some of them, and I'm like, hey, thank you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's a good way to look at it, And I've met the owner of that place a few times. I used to love, he had the restaurant downtown, and I would go and I would talk to him, and he could be an interesting guy as well from time to time. I'll just leave it at that. But so you're doing that, and you say, I'm gonna do this. Now, did you move up in position there at Copper Miner?
There I was just prepping, and then I left and looked for another job, and it was always prepping and finally I got the opportunity to get into the kitchen, and then different kitchens here and there, in Yuma.
Give me a name of like a kitchen where you felt like you were proud to kind of work at, where you finally got your groove a little bit.
Okay, so when they first opened Chili's,
okay.
I was part of the opening crew there.
Very cool.
And then I got, certified for all the stations, and I could run it probably was like 6 stations back then, and then you had to do that little test, and you will get, like a little star, like a little pin in your heart.
I wish they would give me stars here at this this job, but they don't. I'm going to talk to HR about that. But you get your stars.
I get the stars, I get the test, and I get the raise as well. Like it was a restaurant where I was only the female, the only one female in at the kitchen, and man, they were mean again. Like for me, trying to be the best and trying to open those lines, because we have timers for everything in there. And everything had to be labeled, everything had to be pre-portioned, everything had to be like, they used to come and check even, the sunny water, the bucket, like it was with the clean rag and everything ready. And then they had like this little list, and then we'll check everything, and then I will get 100%, all the time and on time.
Yeah.
So, and of course, everybody was giving me hard time because of that and trying to get in the way so I couldn't finish on time.
Yeah, so they would mess up your time or whatever, because that's, the crab in the bucket type of thing where somebody's starting to do good and it's like, oh, they're going to make me look bad. Lucy's over here making me look bad, that stuff happens.
Yeah, and I used to like push them at the same time to get, their certifications to be on time, but they didn't like that. So they were trying, to get on the way. But I remember I was finally, certified in all the stations, and I was a corporate trainer, and it was not easy to get, like for others, they were like, no, she's late, trying to make me look bad all the time. But it was just people resistant to change and to do better, And
so where did you go after that? Where was the last place you were before you went out on your own?
After that, I was at Chili's for 10 years, and then I moved when they first opened the Kashan Casino.
Okay, was that the Ironwood?
Yeah, well, I was part of the opening crew with the sous chefs, and I started as a supervisor there. And then I remember back then it was like a madness, like all the restaurants, and they had the food court, they had the buffet.
Oh, everything.
They have everything, the side wonders.
Yeah, side wonders.
And, the prepping, the catering. And a lot of the chefs, it was, none of them, they speak Spanish back then. And we have all the people, none of them speak English.
Wow.
Like it was like a misunderstanding all the time, and they couldn't get, the information on what they wanted. And then, of course, their way of cooking, it was different. It was a lot of chefs coming from Vegas and all these huge places and trying to teach these people that probably they didn't have much of, culinary skills.
Experience. Yeah.
So it was tough when I got there. It was interesting because I was connecting, with the prepping and everything and teaching them from, the ground. And it was like challenging, but I think that made me realize what we can change and what we can do in restaurants. So.
All right. So we're going to take a break real quick. Then we're going to find out what changes you did make because you went out on your own. You started Cater Fit. Now it's Top Meals. We're going to find out more about that after this. All right?
Okay.
We're going to take this break and we'll be back. You're listening to What's Up Yuma Radio right here on 94.7 KOFA Border Radio.
Tuned in to Border Radio KOFA. We are your local public radio station that celebrates the power of music to bring people together. You can see our playlists, listen to our live stream, and listen to past programs on demand on the KOFA app. Find it at your favorite app store.
What's Up Yuma Radio is sponsored in part by Nova Home Loans, serving Yuma County and nearby communities. Nova Home Loans offers residential lending services, including home loans and refinancing. They are also proud supporters of local community efforts and organizations. More information is available at novahomeloansyuma.com.
You are listening to KOFA Border Radio on 94.7 FM. It's going to be a sunny day in Yuma with an afternoon high near 104 degrees. Winds becoming 5 to 10 miles per hour by afternoon. Tonight, clear skies with a low around 71 degrees. Indigenous leaders near Tecate, Mexico say the U.S.-Mexico border wall is ruining sacred sites. More on this can be found online at kawc.org with a video report attached.
One of our donors, Rebecca, shared, "As a flight attendant, I love listening to Border Radio when I'm home in Yuma. But the best part is I can take it with me on the app when I'm away. Border Radio lets me carry a piece of home wherever I go." Join listeners like Rebecca by visiting donate.borderradioaz.org and contribute today.
This is Border Radio, KOFA, your passport to your global destination for music. We are your local public broadcasting station that can be heard through your radio at 94.7 FM, 1320 AM, on the KOFA app, and at borderradioaz.org.
What's up, Yuma? Welcome back to What's Up, Yuma Radio. I am here trying one of the protein bars that she gave me because I pulled one out of my backpack earlier. Yeah. She's like, no, I brought you one. And yeah, there's delicious. I'm tasting the peanut butter. There's peanut butter in it, right? Or some type of it. But I'm going to let Victor go because I need to drink some water.
Yeah,
but
get up on that. So we're talking to Chef Lucy Sedano with Top Meals. Again, thank you for being here. So we're talking about how you are at the Quetzal Resort with the all the dining out there. So was it at that point that you were starting to think that you wanted to start your own business?
Well, there I stayed like probably 10 years, at the casino, and then I got pregnant with my youngest. And then after that, it was so hard for me to spend that many hours working for other people, and I wanted to be home, with my kid and stuff like that. So that was started thinking about, having my own business. And I always had my own businesses, like even small little things. I used to work in places and had something else on the side.
Like maybe catering?
Catering, I was doing caterings. And then to one point, I had the Paloma, the Raspado place on 8th Street.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I had that, when I was working at the casino back then.
Oh,
so
cool.
Still, it was that transition, it was, just leaving the casino and the secure, security of having, your 401k, your insurance and all that, and just, dedicate to my own business.
Yeah. So this is Cater Fit we're talking about. So Cater Fit, so then you're focusing on that full time.
Yeah. So right after that, and I remember that I started going to one of the gyms, downtown, and then I used to do my meal preps. And they will see it, and I used to post them, this is what I'm eating today, and stuff like that. And then I had, quite a the people. It was like, hey, that looks good. I want to try it. I was like, I can prep for you. And that's how everything started. Just, me posting, didn't have an idea, I wanted to do that. It was just, when I was cooking and having the plates done, and they will come and they will comment about it, and that's how Cater Fit started. I said, this is good. It was just a business that it just not planned for it. It was just, that people encouraging, to have something.
So I should say that, for anyone that has lived in Yuma for some time, you probably, if you haven't had, one of Lucy's, meal prep plans, you've probably been to an event that's been catered by her, either a wedding and so I bring that up because she catered my wedding, and she's also catered several events for my wife's family, Araceli, and so birthday parties, and then a recent house gathering. For us. So, I mean, if you know good food, you know good food.
Yeah, absolutely.
We know where to get good food. It's with Lucy.
So then what was the structure around your business? You wanted to do meal prep for people? Is that how you started?
Well, it was just, after not working for the casino anymore, I was like, I have to do something. It was not planned. I was just doing food for the people and just for fun. And but then I started remembering like everything that I studied, everything, like I said, like from when I was in Mexico and seeing the people here and there. And when I was at the college, we had to do time at the local places. I was a dietary manager looking for, that. And we have to go to the care centers. And I spent like probably a year and a half, working with them and noticing, it's just the end of their life. And looking at the people that many times they beg for food and they had like the nasogastric tubes and stuff like that. They can't even eat.
Oh, wow.
And coming around and saying, come on, give me food. And back then, like, it was sad stories all the time. And I used to go home and cry like, man, what we do, in our lives eating. Like, we spend so much time not eating what we're supposed to be eating. And then at the end of the life, we die starving, like, because we didn't take care of ourselves.
So then you thought like you're going to make meals to help people care about themselves and take care of it.
Having that in mind, I was like, no, I have to do something. Working in restaurants for, probably 20 years and looking at everything that they put on the restaurants to make people come back. A lot of fat, a lot of, sugars, a lot of stuff that is not natural. Because they just wanted the money and bring people back. And I was like, no, we have to do something different, and I had to do something different, and that's how, I started putting together Cater Fit back then, and that's how I started. That was the vision behind the business. Helping people, and there were difficult times because I've been in that business for 10 years, and when I said no more, I'm gonna do something else, and then I get back with people, and people is coming and giving me their stories and how the meal prepping is changing their health. And I'm like, man. And here I am still.
There it is. And I just want to mention, so Cater Fit, the original name, somebody sent you a cease and desist order maybe or something and said, hey, that's my name. And they were mean and you had to change your name. But now it's Top Meals, right? Top Meals. So it's the same thing, same program, same everything. Just had to make a name change. That was it, right?
Yeah, that is correct.
So then how'd you start getting out there? Like you said you went to gyms, you went to just different, like, here, try my stuff and, see if it works. And obviously people said it did work. So tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, I was making them for myself. I didn't
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I didn't plan it. So they were just, I was just posting and they will ask if, I could have the meal prep for them. And then that was the idea behind. But I wasn't even promoting, the meal preps or anything until it came. I was like, oh, okay, this can be a business.
And then you got a kitchen, right? You got a kitchen, and the early days, you had some other people in there. Mama Bella was in there, right? Lucha Kombucha. And you guys kind of shared, and you made it happen. Tell me a little bit about that, how you brought that together.
Oh, yeah, that was a challenge, after working for one of the well-known restaurants here. I said, no, I have to have my own business because I was having, the meal prep services at the same time, working full-time, and we will be in midnight just doing the meal preps.
Wow.
I said, it's done. And then I had back then a food truck, and we took it to a place, and I was just working out of the food truck while I was putting together the kitchen. It took me like almost a year and a half, almost 2 years.
A lot of work.
Yes.
Round the clock work, hustling, because nobody's going to tell Lucy it ain't going to happen. Lucy's going to make it happen.
She's lucky, that's what they say.
Oh, no, she works hard. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So you worked hard. So while that kitchen was being built, you're doing this, and you're saying you're going to make it happen.
Yeah, it was at the food truck, even like 120 degrees. We were cooking in there, and I was like, oh, man, but I want my kitchen, and when it's done, I'm done, And that was, everyday challenges. But we put it together, and we stayed there like almost 6 years, so... Yeah.
About 6 years. And so I just want to bring up something people in the fitness world talk about it. What's a macro?
Well, those are just numbers that people look at.
Yeah, but what is it? People are like, watch your macros. And I'm like, you watch yourself, buddy.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it's just numbers where you can find out how much protein you're eating, protein, carbohydrates,
gotcha.
and
Okay.
fats and calories, fiber, and all that. You know, it's all about the chemical balancing in your body, and that's what they tell us.
Yeah.
You know, like you're supposed to eat this, this, and that. But for me, the meal preps, it has to be like more something that you're gonna eat that is gonna fulfill you.
Yeah.
And feel better and have energy and have like a little bit of everything.
That is the key, I would think. Victor, what do you think?
Yeah, like we've talked before about how, like as a society, I feel like more people are on a health kick, right? They're looking at proteins. All these products are advertising that they have protein, or they're adding protein, or they're saying they're gluten free for people that want to, go that route. Mm-hmm. So you talked about how, food isn't just food. It's like an experience, and you can also be smart about it and eat healthy. Mm-hmm. So how do you work that into the meals you prepare?
Yeah, I think there is a disconnection nowadays with all the food and the spices and the herbs and fruit and vegetables. I mean, we don't know the beauty of all that and all the vitamins and minerals that it's giving us to our body, And that's why we have a person telling us, hey, you're supposed to be eating this, or you don't supposed to be eating that because this is bad for you. And once they tell us it's bad, then we'll start creating like a bad idea of what is not good for us. And then when we eat it, it's just not good, like we're not eating what we're supposed to be eating because somebody else is telling you. TV is telling you, like, hey, look, you're supposed to eat like double sizes because it's going to be cheaper if you eat something that is double size than normal. And so we're not putting attention to what the body needs. So I think that's all about, when we're eating, when we are dieting, when we are like after a health goal.
Yeah, so my big thing is eating, like what Victor said, eating to me always still has to be an experience.
Yeah.
Like I love good food, and so I know, and I was like, okay, I got to lose weight, but I'm not willing to give up the experience side. I want good, healthy food, right? I want good for me food that tastes good, that
Yes.
still gives me an experience, correct?
It does exist.
Yeah, it does exist. And so I'm excited because you brought us some stuff to try. What did you bring us to try over here?
I got a little pasta, and it's a whole grain pasta, and it has a little bit of different veggies and chicken and stuff like that. So it's a little bit of everything. And that's why I'm, talking about having portion sizes. Try everything, but portion size. And like the pasta is going to give you, fiber because it's whole grain. It's going to give you the energy. The protein is going to give you boost for your brain. And also the vegetables that is going to like get you some vitamins and minerals. And so once you have a plate that has a little bit of everything, how you're going to feel?
There, you're going to feel much better.
Versus you're going to get probably like a plate full of, protein and stuff like that, and just a little bit of veggies, how you're going to feel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, you're going to be full, but you're not going to have that energy.
Yeah, and energy, definitely, it's like, especially in my lifestyle, I need to keep that up. I can't like...
Especially our weather. We need to have a little bit of everything.
Too, right?
Yeah.
You don't want to get sick out there because you're dehydrated and you don't have the right vitamins inside of you to keep you going. Mm-hmm. All right, we do got to go. We are coming to the end of the segment, but tell everybody where they can find out more information about everything that Chef Lucy offers.
All right. So we have a website, topmeals.com, where you can see the meal plans. And then we also have a little coffee shop where we have a little bit of, natural teas, sun teas, organic coffee, all kinds of, drinks, but, more in a natural way. Mushroom coffee as well.
Oh,
and we
okay.
also have the meal preps.
Yeah.
And tell everybody where that's at. Go ahead.
I just wanted to say that's Top Meals with a Z.
With the Z.
Oh, okay.
.com.
Thank you, Victor.
LC, the landing zone.
Okay.
And then tell everybody where your coffee shop's at.
That will be Thunderbird Plaza, 2855 South 4th Avenue.
All right. Well, thank you for the food and thank you for the time. I appreciate you coming on. I know when I put on, like, I need a guest for Tuesday, you booked right away. So thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Always a fun time with you, Lucy. And with that, it's time for a break. Who do we got coming up after the break, Victor?
We have Moses Femino. He's a reporter with KYMA.
All right. We'll be back with Moses right after this. You're listening to What's Up Yuma Radio right here on 94.7 KOFA Border Radio.
Turn on Border Radio KOFA 94.7 FM and cross musical borders every day. From new indie discoveries to timeless classics, listener-supported Border Radio brings you music you won't hear anywhere else. Live, local, and online at borderradioaz.org and on the KOFA app.
What's Up Yuma Radio is sponsored by Citrine Law LLC, a locally owned bilingual law firm rooted in the Yuma community. Citrine Law provides criminal defense, DUI defense, and personal injury representation in English and Spanish throughout Yuma County. Information is at citrinelaw.com.
I use KEWC almost on a daily basis in my car. It's the background for chores around my house. And I go to the website and look for stories that are of interest, and I listen to podcasts. I look to the news on NPR because I'm looking for something beyond the headline or a soundbite or a gotcha moment. I really want news that shows me sort of the multiple dimensions of a story, that seeks information from multiple sources and doesn't tell me how to think. It just presents the issues, and I really appreciate that. Being a sustaining member of a service like KAWC takes the mystery out of it for me. So I know that I am supporting every month. I also know that I don't have to remember to sit down and write a check at the end of the year or a budget for a check at the end of the year, right? It's kind of coming out of my account every month, and that makes me feel a little bit like I'm part of the team. I'm Lori Stoft from Arizona Western College, and I'm a proud supporter of KAWC Yuma.
Temperatures will gradually warm through the rest of the week until afternoon highs reach about 110 degrees. Today in Yuma, Parker, and Quartzsite, afternoon high is closer to 105 degrees. Winds out of the south-southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour could gust as high as 20 miles per hour in Parker and Quartzsite. Tonight, clear skies with a low around 70.
Why is music an important part of your life? For many of us, music lets us see the world from someone else's perspective. We can find community in hearing someone else's joy, sorrow, or hope expressed in song or melody. KOFA Border Radio is your local, non-commercial source for great music.
Yuma Art Center announces Three-Way Exposure, a photo gallery exhibition from COFA, San Luis, and Cibola high schools. Through experiential learning, students worked with industry professionals to learn the art of photography. Opening reception on Friday, June 26th from 6 to 8 p.m. Details at yumaartcenter.com.
I'm Mike Suba, and I'm a big supporter of KAWC. You're getting a great source of information about our community, about the people that are working and living here, and you start going, you know what, this is really a valued service. And that's the great thing, is you've got a partnership here. And I'm a big believer in partnerships because the one thing I realized early on in life, I can maybe do a lot of stuff on a very limited basis, but when I start partnering up, it's amazing what we can do when we pool our resources. And so I hope that when people are listening to the station, enjoying the news broadcasts and the entertainment shows that are being presented, that they realize that you're not only the end user and enjoying what's being broadcast to you, but it can be a partnership too, where you can participate like I've discovered I can do and help get this service, enhance it, and provide even better programming. I'm Mike Suba, and I support KAWC.
If you're tired of listening to long commercials before finally hearing music, look no further. We've got you covered. Whether you're searching on your radio, trying to find an app to play some tunes, or need background music playing on your computer while finishing up some work, KOFA Border Radio is your non-commercial place for music.
What's up, Yuma? Welcome back to What's Up Yuma Radio. We are here joined now by
Moses Femino. He's a reporter with KYMA. Thank you for being here this morning.
Thank you guys for having me out. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and I think you said you met him before out in the field?
Yeah, so, he's a daily reporter. I don't go out every day for KAWC, but a lot of assignments, we met up, like the Amazon story, when Amazon, the local Amazon distribution center, opened its doors. That might have been like your first day, right?
It was my first time out reporting, kind of doing my own story. So I met Victor very early on here in Yuma.
Very cool. Yeah. So I'll just start it off and then I'll give it to Victor. But where are you from originally?
So I was born in Massachusetts.
Okay.
I grew up on the East Coast, just outside of Boston, like 30 minutes outside of there, Beverly, Massachusetts. Okay. I was born in Salem. Lots of people know that for the witch trials.
Yeah.
That's where I was born. That's a good talking starter with people. Yeah. But moved to Spokane, Washington when I was about 7 or 8. My family relocated out there, and that's where I grew up, went to school and all that, but Massachusetts is definitely home for me.
So when you were young, were you always into like reporting news, or was it sports? Because that's where you want to go.
Yeah, sports has always been my thing.
Sports,
I grew up going to, all the games, Celtics, Red Sox, Bruins, Patriots.
Oh, okay.
Like a big Boston sports fan.
Yeah. Well, Boston's a good place to be a sports fan, right?
Yeah, it was, I'm lucky. Lots of people, go their whole lives and their team never wins anything.
Tell me about
it. Like the last 20 years, 25 years have been great for Boston. The Patriots with Tom Brady and the Celtics, right? With Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett and Jason Tatum more recently.
Yep. I've been very lucky, but yeah, definitely sports. I kind of always knew I wanted to go into something where I'm interacting with people, kind of on air, doing stuff like that, but definitely always wanted to.
So tell me a little bit about, so you're watching the games, you're going to it. So what was it that said, okay, not athlete, I want to be behind the mic? What, is it, you're not athletic? You don't have to get into that if you don't want to.
No,
but was it like I'd rather be behind the mic and call in the plays?
So I did want to be an athlete, but growing up, once I realized I was 5'9", not getting those 225 big old dudes, I kind of realized got to switch up the career path a little bit. So I decided, if I can't be on the field, why not covering the field, talking about the stars, being with all those guys,
How old were you when that came to be? Like, where you're like, you know what, I'm not going to make it here. Let me switch gears.
Probably about high school, I would say. I was, everyone plays everything growing up, soccer, middle school, baseball. I played all the sports, but around high school, when again, I didn't really get that growth spurt. I wasn't the strongest guy. I was a decent athlete, but a lot of my friends, went on to play college sports, and it was just, there's levels to it, just like anything else.
Yeah.
So, I'd say probably around high school is when I realized might need to get behind the mic.
So what'd that look like in high school to make that change? Did you try to figure out how to do something like broadcasting and announcing the local games, or?
Yeah, so I did in middle school. I got to go back and, cover some of my games.
Oh, okay.
They
Even then.
Like live stream kind of thing. Same with high school. I'd go and help the middle school teams out, just kind of coaching, talking to them about how to get more comfortable being an athlete. There's obviously the on-field performance stuff, but you got to be a good human too, get your academics done, all those things. So I would say probably around high school, and definitely into college too. Once I found Boise State in my broadcasting class, that was really where I, found my passion for wanting to be a sports broadcaster.
So you're in Washington State, right? You said you moved out to like Spokane.
Yeah.
Right. So what about Boise State? I don't know how close that is, like geographically, but what drew you to that school of all schools?
So I wanted to get out of Washington. Spokane, lots of people know it for Gonzaga, big basketball school. I'd go to.
I've heard of that. Yeah, I've heard of it. That's about it. But
lots of good basketball players have come out of there.
That's probably why I've heard about it. Who's come out of there?
Chet Holmgren. Who else?
Adam Morrison.
A lot of NBA guys go from Gonzaga to the NBA.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So lots of good basketball players have come out of there, but I wanted to get out of Washington a little bit. I didn't really want to go to Gonzaga. My family, we'd go work at WSU, the Cougars, and do events there. So I kind of knew the area. I wanted to get out, not too far away from my family, because again, we relocated to Washington, but I just wanted to get out there. And I liked Boise. I went on a tour there, and good athletics, the blue turf, all that. So I just decided it was a good fit for me, and I found my people there, found that broadcasting
And
class.
that's what it was, the broadcasting class that you said, I'm going to go here and I'm going to take this broadcasting class.
So I didn't find that class until my final semester, unfortunately. It was quite, I knew they had a good media program. They had a journalism minor. I did all that stuff, but I didn't find it was UTP at Boise State. I didn't find it until my last semester there, which was kind of rough, but I got to come back I graduated early. The next semester after I was supposed to graduate, the professor was nice enough to allow me to come back and keep working on those skills. And I got to intern at one of the news stations up there, and they, similar to what they do down here, they do a Friday night light show during the high school football season. I got to do a little bit of that in Boise, so that was kind of, my first time getting out and getting onto the field and with my own camera, shooting my own things, talking to players, talking to coaches. So it's a good intro there at Boise for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what was that like when you got to do that? Like you're on the field, you're interviewing, because I think it is important to have, obviously somewhat of a sports background. So you're kind of in their head already, at least you could relate. And then now you're down there and you're interviewing. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's definitely harder than it looks on TV when you're, watching whatever March Madness, Super Bowls, any of those, and you're seeing the games, and they just make it look so easy. It takes a lot of repetition, just kind of like.
Is that what it is?
else.
Repetition? Because I watch the basketball games and I see like, a lot of times now it's like a gal will go over there, a lady will go over there and interview the guy after making the winning shot or something. Yeah. And they're so poised and they ask the question without stuttering, this and that. And then a lot of times, the guy, especially like Wimby, is way up there and like he can't hear.
Yeah.
And so, he's trying to do his best, but they're not missing a beat down there asking the questions, putting the mic up there, and they're right on it. And I'm like, how do they stay so poised?
It's 100% repetition. It's, being able to just connect with people and talk to them. The athletes, they tend to trust those people because they're not going to ask them that question that's going to blow up the locker room or anything. It's, building that camaraderie with the athlete and, just reps, I would say. That's honestly how you become that.
So were you pretty nervous the first few times then? I would imagine.
Yeah, till this day, I'm still kind of getting used to it. I just switched over to doing sports here in Yuma, so just getting used to, meeting some of the local athletes, some of the local coaches, athletic directors, and just, meeting them, being a person first, although we all have our jobs to do, but making that connection on a personal level before, getting to the business side of things.
Yeah, and so how did you end up here in Yuma? How was that?
So, a little bit of a longer story. After Boise State, I had an internship in Wyoming for a summer league baseball team. I was hoping to get right into sports right away. Unfortunately, anything didn't really come out of that. I got to do play-by-play for the summer league team, which is kind of what I wanted to do. So that's why I took the opportunity. It was really fun. After that, nothing really came up. I moved to California with my girlfriend, and we were just down there the last few months, and I met this mentor Jerry, his name is. He had some connections in news industry, and he was just helping me get my name out there. And KYMA was one of the first stations to give me an opportunity, so I jumped on it and didn't look back, and I'm very glad I made the move down here.
How long have you been here now? So that Amazon story, was that right when you got here?
Yeah.
And that wasn't too long ago.
Yeah, it's been about 2.5. I'm getting close to 3 months here, so it's felt like, a couple days. It's gone so fast, but it's flying by slowly but surely, yeah.
And then eventually you said you want to do it. What do you want? You want the play-by-play? You want to be on there announcing? And then what sport?
I go back and forth. I love the main four: hockey, basketball, football, baseball. I would love to be a play-by-play baseball announcer. I've grown up listening to those guys my entire life, so I'm kind of an old soul. If I'm busy doing something, I'll just have the game on and I'm listening to the radio.
On the radio?
Yeah.
You did it? Yeah, you are an old soul. That's interesting.
So I've had that connection. Don Orsillo's the San Diego Padres guy, but he was with the Red Sox my whole whole young life. So like the voices and the memories that I have from, you know, celebrating some big moments on the athletic field, I connect with that so much, and I hopefully want to do that someday for any team that
anybody. All right. Yeah. So we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about what it was like when you first started, that first story you did for Amazon, and then where you're at now for KYMA. Awesome. All right. We're going to do that right after this. You're listening to What's Up Yuma Radio right here on 94.7 KOFA Border Radio.
For over 55 years, Border Radio KOFA has been a voice for music and culture in the region. We play indie, soul, funk, world beats, and more, plus local stories and live sessions. Tune in live at 94.7 FM, on demand at borderradioaz.org, or on the KOFA app and discover your next favorite song.
If you're having a hard time deciding on the perfect way to show your love to your favorite station, just listen to your heart. Whether it's calling for you to give a one-time cash gift or to donate that extra vehicle you no longer need, either way, it's easy and will help Border Radio bring you more hours of your favorite programs. Learn more about the ways to give at borderradioaz.org.
This is folk singer Michael Jonathan. On Wood Songs this week, we're very proud to have the Grammy-winning master of the blues harmonica, Charlie Musselwhite, and from New York City, Pete Mancini. Both artists plus an amazing Wood Songs kid on this week's broadcast of the Wood Songs Old Time Radio Hour.
This evening at 7 p.m. on KOFA Border Radio 94.7 FM.
Today's day sponsor is Dr. Cheryl Haugo in celebration of her 42nd wedding anniversary with Mark John Haugo. Cheryl says that after 42 years of marriage, she treasures every day they have together. She is grateful for the many years, memories, adventures, and blessings they have shared, and says every day together is a bonus.
Breezy conditions will linger today, particularly across the Arizona higher terrain areas, maintaining an elevated fire danger threat. The winds out of the south in Yuma, Parker, and Quartzsite are keeping the ozone levels low. Afternoon high should be near 105 degrees. The low tonight under clear sky should be 70.
If you are in the process of planning for your estate, please consider including KAWC, KOFA, and other charitable organizations in your will or trust. Gifts to nonprofit organizations in your estate planning can help continue your connection to the causes that are important to you. For information, call us at 877-838-5292.
Bopping to the new beats heard around the world, or relaxing to the tunes of Memory Lane. We are your non-commercial source of music. Run by volunteer hosts, this is KOFA Border Radio, 94.7 FM, 1320 AM, on the KOFA app, or at borderradioaz.org.
What's up, Yuma? Welcome back to What's Up Yuma Radio. We are here joined by
Moses Femino. He's a reporter with KYMA. So we're talking about how you start here at KYMA. You've only been here 2 months. What is your first impression of Yuma been so far?
So far, so good. It's been a really eye-opening experience for me. I had never been this far down south in my life, so it was a little bit of a leap of faith for me. I know it's going to get hot here. I'm trying to prepare for all that, but I've met some great people. A lot of the locals that I talk to when I'm out, chasing a story, they'll stop, they'll talk to me. That's a little bit of a switch up sometimes out east. Some people, it's fast paced, they don't have time for you, but down here, everyone's very nice, very open to, answering questions for me on camera, off camera. Yeah. It's been a great adjustment for sure.
And we've had some of your colleagues on here from KYMA, and so talk about the team, not just the reporters, the MMJs, but the people behind the scenes, the people in the production rooms.
Yeah, everyone, we're a very tight-knit group over there. Once I was just getting my feet under me there, I was, kind of in my own zone, trying to figure out my own workflow, so I wasn't being myself as much as I normally do, but I'm getting a little more comfortable now. We all hang out with each other. We have our jokes. We watch games together. We'll go do events, little movie nights, so we're a very tight-knit group for sure. Everyone does a great job.
Yeah. So you've only been there a little over 2 months. Do you have a favorite story so far in Yuma? Like something you've worked on, something you learned, or maybe you had a personal connection to something?
Yeah. I did a story probably my first month in about 2 local students. They're in, I believe, elementary or middle school. They were 11 and 13 years old, but they were graduating from Arizona Western College this past commencement.
Wow.
And yeah, they are wicked smart. Like, it's just crazy. And, you know, I got to interview them. Their parents were super appreciative. And I was at the graduation covering it live. And I was there and I was about to do my live hit. And I saw the parents, like, she walked up and was like, oh my gosh, hi, like, great to see you. And it was just like this full circle moment of me covering it a couple months out and then happening to see her there the night her kids are graduating. It was very wholesome for me. It was a really good feeling, and the fact that she, you know, came back and recognized me, it felt pretty good too. So that was probably one of my more liked stories I've done. So
and AWC has those good, you know, feel good stories, right? And we've also featured like when like a mother and like her son and daughter, I think, all graduated the same year, right? Because the mother was like a non-traditional student, and her, you know, children were coming here, so that was cool.
Yeah.
I want to ask you if we can pick your brain about, you know, because Johnny and I like to talk about the NBA finals. We like to talk about the NHL finals or whatever's going on, Super Bowl, World Cup's coming up. What's your prediction on the NBA finals?
Man, I thought last night, the Knicks were going to come out. You know, New York's been jumping. I thought they were going to maybe sweep them, but I personally am rooting for the Spurs as a Celtics fan.
Oh, okay.
I you know, although the Knicks, they're in our conference.
Little rivals.
Yeah, I'm just not a big fan of the Knicks, and I love Wemby. So I'm hoping the Spurs can come back and pull it off. After last night, I think it might go 7, but I'm kind of leaning New York still, unfortunately. It's just what my gut's telling me.
Yeah, I want the Spurs. My growing up, everybody says online that since I'm a Suns fan, I shouldn't go for the Spurs. But growing up, my best friend, he was a Spurs fan. He loved David Robinson, and you know, and so he's passed away. So I'm kind of like hoping, just for his sake, you know, and his memory, that they pull it off and kind of work that miracle, because I don't think anybody's ever come back from that 0-2 deficit to win in the finals. I don't think it's happened. But they're a pretty special team, and they're capable of some stuff. So I think if anybody could do it, they probably could.
100%. And they're super young. So if they do it now, like the next 10 years, it's their oyster to just keep winning championships, starting a dynasty, especially when you have a player of that caliber that's just a freak athlete in Wemby.
So do you practice watching the game? Do you ever like watch it and then practice announcing or anything?
I do. People ask me that. Yeah, sometimes, you know, I'll throw it on mute if an announcer's, you know, rubbing me the wrong way. I might put it on mute and, you know, do my own call of the game sometimes. My favorite, so I NBA, that's really the only sport I watch, and football and MMA. But my favorite thing is when Shaq and Charles get together and they talk. That's just at halftime. Like, I wish that was like every game was on ESPN with those guys, because that's just it's a hoot. Yeah, if they had their own broadcast, I'd definitely listen to that, because they just flow off each other. They're hilarious.
Do you ever want to do that side of things in the future?
Yeah, I would love to. I said play-by-play, but, you know, I'd be a sideline reporter. I'd be a pregame guy, postgame guy. Yeah, literally. I'd wrap cables for a team on the production crew just to get my way up there.
And you're probably learning, we've talked before about how KYMA, so you have both Yuma County and you have Imperial County. And so I know that the sports team, I'm jealous. I'm low-key jealous, because they get to cover events from like Phoenix, Tucson. They've gone to Vegas for like the Super Bowl, and like LA and San Diego too. So like there's opportunities to cover not just high school sports and college sports, but also like bigger sports events. Maybe the World Cup, I don't know.
I was going to see if they would get us out there, because I know there's games in LA. It might be a little too far, but that would be unbelievable to cover an event on that scale. I would love to. But
And I know, like even people that aren't going to the World Cup, they'll be watching the games here. So me and Johnny are going to be like trying to follow, local game watches.
For sure.
Yeah. Bodega, they're going to be doing something over there. Now you started off just reporting, but now you're the weekend sports guy. Is that the case?
Yeah, weekend sports and weekend weather as well, which I think you were saying you had Melissa on at some
We had
point.
Melissa on. Yeah. She told us that she had to learn different ways to say that it's going to be hot. You can't just say today's going to be hot, tomorrow's going to be hotter. Yeah. 2 days is going to be hotter than that.
For sure.
So like, what are you learning about like the weather, right? Because Yuma's, notoriously hot, and we go from hot to hotter to hottest.
Yep.
Those are our seasons. You have seasons back east where, Massachusetts, where you're from. But what are you picking up about weather? And you said she was like mentoring you, Melissa.
Yeah, she was a great trainer, mentor for me, because obviously, I never really done anything that I'm used to sports, but I've never really done anything on the weather side of things. So she got me ready to go on practicing on the green screen. The green screen, it's harder than it looks. She makes it look very easy, but it takes some reps, as I said.
Because that thing's really not behind you. It's just a green screen.
Yep.
And you got to look at the monitor and stuff and find out. And then
it's
kind of, okay, which way? Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, getting your hands in the right spots. But, kind of as you said, figuring out different ways to say it's warm, it's hot, it's breezy versus windy. The wind speeds down here, I didn't realize it got so gusty, but it's not windy until it's 30, 40 miles per hour. But to me, that's
pretty bad.
Windy. Yeah. So just learning the local terminologies and all that, and just getting comfortable on the green screen.
Well, we're wrapping up right now. So if somebody wants to follow you and your career and see you one day, maybe doing the play-by-play, how do they find out more information about you? Where are you at on the interwebs?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram, moses.femino.tv. I post a lot of the stuff I do for KYMA on there, my regular Instagram as well, and KYMA.com. We do a lot of articles, all that stuff. So if you just want to follow me on there, I'd be sure to welcome in you as a fan and hopefully see me get to where I want to get.
Absolutely. I want to see you get there, man. I'll be a fan following you. So thank you for coming on, man.
Thank you, guys.
Really appreciate it. And with that, What's Up Yuma Radio is a production of KAWC, Colorado River Public Media. We broadcast from the studios in the Matador Activity Center at Arizona Western College in Yuma. I want to thank our engineer, Talon Gonzalez, along with Anthony Hernandez, Juan Garcia, Dave Rica, and Cecilia.
You can find out more about KOFA at borderradioaz.org and on the KOFA app. Stay tuned for KOFA's Midday Music. Do you have the names?
And tomorrow we have, who do we have?
We have Antoinette from ACTS or ACTS, and we have Marina Roloff from Enhanced Aesthetics and Wellness.
Yes, we do.
And you can listen to the podcast version of our program and check out past episodes anytime at kawc.org/podcast/What's Up Yuma Radio.
And if you want to be on this show, make sure you go to whatsupyuma.biz. Once again, that's whatsupyuma.biz, not .com. Click that radio link and you could be on this show. Just click book me. We'll see you guys later. Everybody have a great day.
What's Up Yuma is sponsored by Citrine Law, LLC, a Yuma law firm practicing criminal defense, DUI defense, and personal injury law. Information is at citrinelaw.com.
You are tuned into KOFA Yuma Border Radio 94.7 FM and 1320 AM. We can also